Dr. EHINGBETI has spoken very well that the blue economy has transcended beyond just issue of local, but to state, regional, national, and international. He alluded to the fact that we have 38 coastal states out of 54 in Africa, and what exactly are we going to do? He narrated the exploits in economic growth, social inclusion, as well as the improvement of livelihood of our people, which the blue economy center around. And we have to realize that the entire act has 71% being surface water. Dr. EHINGBETI has talked so much about the coastal environment, both the national and international. However, we still need to look at the other maritime waters within the coast, within the country. River Niger, River Benue, Lake Chad, Basin, Niger, Jamai, they are very, very important in this discourse. He told us about, he gave us narratives of different economies, such as the red, the green, brown, the black, and that the blue one is the one that is sustainable in terms of use of resources. This has come up with regulations, social inclusions, environmental sustainability, and so on. He gave us overview of the blue economy, and he emphasized the fact that he's not only talking about the resources, but we have to look at the issue of research, education, and advocacy. Maritime surveillance for security purposes, in which case Nigerian Navy and all that will also have a role to play. He talked about marine spatial planning, which is geographical information systems to know what is where, how to allocate resources, and so on. And in which case, he also told us that the blue economy we are talking about is not just about that blue space, but we have to look at the leeward and the seaward end, because all of them relate with one another, especially the hinterland. You cannot have a prosperous shipping activities if the hinterland is not progressive, if it's not producing anything. And that's part of what we are facing right now. We produce next to nothing after the petroleum, crude oil, everybody has gone to sleep. And eventually we are more of an import based. And this alludes to the fact that we really have to wake up and see how the economy can bail us out of what we are looking at. He also talked about the durable regime, which is very, very critical. But we have to look at the national territorial contiguities as well as the international level. And the good news is that there has been an expansion of the EEZ from 200 nautical miles to 350 nautical miles. Let's even maximize, optimize the use of the 200 before we go into the 350. What are we doing to that? Maybe another research will be carried out by him to see the extent of exploit we have been able to make along that line. So he also mentioned the Pirate Talk African Blue Economy, in which case Nigeria is not one, whereas if we are able to galvanize all other aspects, all these potential opportunities will be realized, and the issue of the capacity building is very, very critical. And that's why the University of Lagos has gone into the development of multimodal transport studies, where all the modes of transport have to be considered and integrated. There is no point in you having seaport that is not linked by rail. It doesn't make sense. We are having deep sea ports now. I'm happy Captain is here. We need rail linkage with the deep sea port. Deep sea port means that the port will be able to handle more than what Apapa can have been handling. We are also having another one in Badagry. What is the arrangement for the rail linkage so that there won't be destruction of the road network? As you know, along the Lekki-Ajah axis is only one road network, which is not the best. So what are we doing with the waters? What are we doing with the barges? So integrated transportation system is very, very needed in this area. Then our able presenter gave us 17 SDGs with 5 pillars, talk about the 2030 agenda, which focus on people, planet, and the immediate environment, which revolves around the EHINGBETI, prosperity, peace, and partnership. He also talked about the soft skill development, externalities, pollution, administration of blue economy, Africa's integrated maritime strategy, and so on and so forth. He told us that the master, being the apex regulator, should not just be looked at to execute anything. What we need is the multi-eclectic and stakeholders participation, and that we need to emphasize the issue of maritime law, in which case EHINGBETI and some other areas have to be rejuvenated. We have a lot of other settlements in especially River State and so on and so forth that have gone into extinction. All these have to be really activated. So on the final note, he talked about the consideration of the coastal communities, the host communities, and that finally we should have dedicated Ministry of Blue Economy, as has been had in Seychelles. And I want to add the fact that I was in Liverpool 2 years ago, and I realized that they took me to the Maritime Museum in Liverpool. Whereas we don't have anything like that in Lagos. And people are paying a lot of money. And that museum is on Nigeria in Liverpool, with all the relics and all the other maritime whatever. So on this note, I want contributions from other panelists so that we can take questions and answers from others. Let me call on the African Continental Victory Zone. That's our leader there. But I don't know why they should carry the headquarters to Accra. I was there 2 weeks ago, where Lagos is the main objective.
It shows your commitment, and it brings to bear the need why this is a multi-stakeholder. I want to, first and foremost, go back to my dear brother, Alban. Beautiful paper. You've done the work, so you just work on what you have worked on. The blue economy is bigger than what we all are thinking about. I had the rare privilege of chairing a committee at the African Union years ago. I thought I was, as chairman, I knew it all. But I found out, distinguished audience, that the blue economy is bigger than a ministry. Please let us take Kenya, for example. It is not a subject to discuss here, but they put it under the presidency so that every ministry, agency is working on the blue economy. So for it to be harnessed by one state or one ministry, it's going to be limiting. Secondly, I want to plead that whilst we're looking at Alban's beautiful diagram of the blue economy, there is one trigger, the AFCFTA. We have signed on as a nation to a continental economy. We need to use it to activate what we already have. Kabisi, when you were talking, we were clapping on that table. But we then said to ourselves, where are the Lagosians? can we drop a list of these negotiations? I thank Baba. You've given us a historical perspective, the UTCs, the AG11s, West African Shipping Line. We want to bring it back. Who are those who are bringing it back? We need to empower and understand what we are driving. Today is a Friday. When we all get into our cars, the most likely thing is that we're going to put these things in the car and the driver is going to thrash it and we never get to hear about it. The former vice president was driving the blue economy. It is, if you say, where is the blue economy office in Nigeria? We do not have it. Blue economy office, XYZ address, Abuja, US, land, whatever. It is not a good thing. We have talked about the AFCFTA. I am co-champion. I'm part of the National Action Committee. The AFCFTA. Where is it domiciled? It's going to be some floor in Abuja. Can I be ambitious? The starting point is, can Iruland be bold enough to house these two key economic changes? And I'll give you an example of what I mean. If I found in that place some structure that talks to blue economy, AFCFTA, whatever, on Monday, I most likely, or Tuesday, I most likely would want to come up and follow up on discussions here of this there. But there is no place that these things are situated. And therefore, the conversation will keep coming back to this. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, whilst Nigeria has been in election, Naira change, petroleum change, other countries are working on the blue economy and the AFCFTA.
Thank you.
Finally, you spoke about the youth. I appeal to you because I was one. You spoke about the youth. Can we have indigenes of Lagos 50 to speak to tutor on the future, the blue economy, the AFCFTA projects with Lagos as domicile? We came to a conclusion last week that Lagos is Nigeria. That is the interpretation for some of the time. Lighton welder. This is something that the government agencies would have done with 50 or 100 million. You've done it begging, borrowing, whatever, or it shall yield fruit in your time. In Jesus' name. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Your Royal Majesty, all the protocols observed, permitting to stand on the existing protocol. I thank the Speaker for a wonderful presentation. I just want to intervene in two aspects. And the first being the advice on what's the advice? On the special ministry of the blue economy. I'd like to add my voice to that because that is a subject that I have been championing for some time. And I'll tell you why. The reason being that currently maritime is handled in the Ministry of Transportation. But in actual fact, maritime is much bigger than to be in the Ministry of Transportation. And I'll say, we have aviation. Aviation is transportation, but it has its own ministry. Maritime is encompassing. It's the blue economy. And I really think that it is narrowing down our potentials when we continue to subsume it in the Ministry of Transportation. The speaker mentioned Seychelles. That Seychelles, they have a Ministry of Blue Economy. I'd like to add that even South Africa has a Ministry of Ocean Economy. Nigeria boasts to be the largest economy in this area. I think that a good starting point is for us to make a definite step in bringing out maritime blue economy in a place so that we can focus on it and harness all the energies that we need to harness in order to take advantage of what God has given to us naturally by placing Nigeria in the strategic position that she's in. So what we're doing right now is we're shortchanging ourselves in the present status. That's number one. Number two, I'd like to advance the conversation of development of the blue economy, especially in the EHINGBETI maritime hub. And add that, I mean, this presentation has been brilliant, but it has excluded the role of women. Caddies, you are digital caddies, and you understand the importance of women in our society. Women already form 50% of the workforce in the economy. Let's not harness. And when we're talking about the blue economy, women are important, they're strategic in fisheries, they're strategic in soft skills. So one of the things that we should take away from this meeting is that the women in EHINGBETI, the women in Oniru, the women in Lagos State must be helped strategically to take advantage of the ocean economy. When we're talking about taking advantage of the ocean economy, I know that we're talking about everybody, but if we make a definite effort to harness the energies of women, in particular, I think that we will advance to where we want to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
His Royal Majesty, I salute the chairman of today's occasion, Erelu, I salute. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I equally salute everybody. Well, the paper presentation was very good, and it addressed something that should be addressed. For us who want to focus on the sustainability of the blue economy, it's very easy. I have spent 31 years in Apapa, and I have seen how Apapa has changed from a very lovely young lady to a woman that has been abused. Sorry, I agree to say that. For 31 years, 1992, I saw how Apapa was, and how it was such a loving, wonderful place to be in. And then we started having this race for economy, and everybody centered on what could be gotten from Apapa. The day they started the first tank farms, I remember myself and my colleagues were saying, this is the beginning of Armageddon in this place. Now, Apapa has become what it is. So, our focus is to lay emphasis on the blue before the economy. So that while we are pursuing the economy that we can make out of these resources. We should not lose sight of the import of that word blue. The blue economy is an economic system that seeks to conserve marine and freshwater environments while using them in a sustainable way to develop economic growth and produce resources such as energy and food. So two key words: conserve marine and freshwater environments. I want to use the Lekki Deep Sea as an example of something that we need to look at. While we are all rejoicing over the Lekki Deep Sea port, we should ask ourselves, this particular project, is it being conceived to bring the human well-being, social equity, and the environmental sustainability in harmony? These are the issues we should be looking at. Why we get the benefit from the economy? The blueness of the economy mustn't be lost on us. And for us, these are the things we would think should be done. Two things. Number one, I think we should, as a necessity, I'm not talking about whether we need to have a ministry or no ministry or commission or no commission, but let's, as a necessity, facilitate the deployment of new technologies and innovations to create and drive environmentally compatible industries. So that we won't have a situation whereby industries that will come out of this economy will be more degrading, will be destructive to the lives around the area. We don't need to have all these industries coming around. The wastages that they will bring into the waters will destroy the blueness of the economy. So we should, as a matter of urgency, begin to facilitate the deployment so that these technologies, these industries will be based on technologies. They don't need to be there. They don't need to release much wastage. And they don't need to even affect the way access road to these places. Number two is the development. We must take it as a matter of urgency to develop the economic empowerment and resilience of communities living around these ports. Kabiyesi has said it, but going further, we should be talking about not only the employment, but the empowerment. Mrs. Kolomosho said it about the fact that there are youths that are of these places that should be harnessed now and being made through to begin to go through series of programs that will empower them to harness the beauty of the economy that is in the blue. So we should begin to do that. And not only doing that, we should equally build their resilience so that they don't just give way to the so-called modernization or development. There should be the resilience based on knowledge. So to us, these are the two things that we think we hate the sustainability of the blue economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Kabiyesi, good to see you again, sir. Mommy, good evening. Sorry, permit me to keep the existing protocol. Thank you for the paper well developed. We've been asking for negotiations. I think Mommy gave me about 150 naira sometimes when my she gave me about 150 naira about 1992 when Sister Kofo Nimale was around. We are very good friends. And that naughty boy standing in front of you today. So I'd like to say it's a big privilege for me to be here. And it's a fulfillment of that scripture that says, show me a man that is diligent in his work. He will stand before kings and not mere men. So I'm standing before Kabiyesi today. So I'm very grateful to God about that. I've listened rapidly to what all of us have said. And I just feel that this is coming not just at any time, but at the right time. We all have an understanding of what blue economy is as we speak. I will not want to belabor us with too much of definitions. I currently head the Lagos State Development Partnership Department. So I work with the multilateral and the bilateral agencies. And we are now moving towards getting the support of private entities to support us. To respond to the call for a separate ministry to be set up, I think my response would be that we don't need it. And I'll tell you why. The first thing is to ask ourselves, what have we done with the existing structures that we have? I just came back from Mombasa because I was also a panelist on the World Bank team for city, climate, and resilience. We call it CCP. And one of the things we found out is that most projects are being done in silos. And when you have silos projects, you end up having wastages. I will use a very simple example. You put up a school somewhere there in Lekki, I think around the Belgium. Budget-wise, it performed and you build the school, right? But there was a purpose, there was an intended objective, is to increase the enrollment, right? But after the school, 3-4 years down the line, the enrollment rate didn't go up. Why? The school was built in isolation of the inputs of other stakeholders. So what I will advise is that whatever we want to do to push the frontier of blue economy, it should be done programmatically, such that when you're conceiving the concept, everybody that is required to deliver the objective is on the table. We'll be having a program sometimes next week with the World Bank. Quite an amount of money will be pushed in. We've spoken about AFTA and everything. I'm going to tell you that I'm privileged to have worked with KBC. We pushed for Lagos State to be considered by the African Development Bank under the Special Agro-Processing Zone project to be given a commodity exchange right over and above every other state when they were all fighting to be either processing or production states. So KBC called me aside and said, well, what do you think? I said, sir, let's line up with, I think, Ogun and Ondo states. We lined up with Ogun and Ondo states. So they were happy that, oh, Lagos State is not even contesting with us. But we were more proactive. We knew where we were going. Irrespective of whatever you produce, you still need to sell them out. And you will need a channel, right? So we supported them. And graciously, KBC, I'm glad to let you know that AFDB has granted Lagos State the sole right to do the commodity exchange. So produce, that's the problem. While I'm saying here, process, that's the problem. But you can't eat them. You need to sell them. Then came AFTA. The AFTA Continental Free Trade is something I'm currently working on with the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperative. But we need to also look inwards to ensure that we are able to put our produce in a competitive manner. Every day you get people coming through water to a buffet to park our stores. Blue economy. Someone said blue economy is not just limited to a ministry, and that's not the truth. Blue economy is bigger, in fact, than 10 ministries put together. Because if you sit down and look at the components of what goes into blue economy, then you will have a clear idea of why I will support the notion that says it should be put under the president. You have waterfront infrastructure for blue economy, right? You have agri for blue economy. You have transport for blue economy. So who are you going to give all these things to? So just programmatically put them together and let the presidency or the governor, office of the state governor, run through to deliver on this project. For sustainability and again for clean environment, I listened to my parents when they were talking, and I said, we can get it done. And that's the truth. So we've keyed into the World Bank project called the Pro Blue Initiative, where we are talking about extended producers' responsibility for single plastic use. And here we're saying, for every plastic bottle you use in selling your products, you need to get them back, or you pay to the government an amount of money, because the government cannot be cleaning your mess while you're going to the bank making profits. So that is part of sustaining the blue economy. Those are some of the things that your kids, led by this guy standing in front of you. My name is Onimole, so I cannot say I'm not feeling your pain. We'll be having that conversation, and the World Bank is about to give us a lot of money under the GDFRR, we call it Global Disaster Recovery Fund. So ours is at a disaster level, we call it a red zone level, because we know where we were and where we are now. So for us to regenerate, there are a lot of work to be done. It's not just for us to sit, come up with studies, and that's the end. There must be laid out approach, objectives, timeline, and measurable ones, so that when we come here, possibly we make this particular program a yearly one, then we can come in and say, based on our resolutions for last year, there are about 10, how much have we been able to achieve this year? So it will make this body, I don't know, it's just a suggestion, because it's something I've just been thinking about. So we have a lot to still do, and I would like to close by saying that somebody did mention that we don't need additional businesses coming in because they will spoil things. I think it is not, that is a reactive approach. We need them, let them come in. But let them take into consideration a particular item in project implementation. You know, there are about 5. The first one is the technical feasibility. Then you need to know whether you have enough cash, which is financial feasibility. Then you come down to the tariff or affordability to those that will use them. But there's a part that most of them do buy rather than put into consideration. And that part is the environmental and social impact of whatever they are bringing in. If that part is well done, sir, I can tell you, irrespective of the investment that they are bringing in, there will be sustainability, there will be cleaner environment, and there will be greater levels of our brain. At this point, I don't want to take too much of our time because I can continue talking from now till tomorrow. So I will like to yield and promise my doors are open, especially to where I come from. And I will make everything possible to make it happen for us. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. We have been able to have additional information from the other panelists. It's a pity Fumi has just left, but she has a plane a flight to catch. She emphasized the issue of involving youths in whatever we are doing, and we also have other critical information on the role of women, that women in Lagos must be assisted and strategically. The issue of sustainability was act on, conservation of the marine environment, new technologies, deployment of knowledge economy, knowledge and information economy is very, very critical in driving this. And for us to even do this, we need basic information. We need to know what are these resources, where are they located, how do we harness them optimally. And last but not the least, we were told that we don't need the new ministry on this, that the presidency, but by the time you take something back to presidency, which means you are giving the presidency all the ministries. So on this note, I want to ask if we have responses from the great audience. We would like to do that. Yes, Elijah.
Thank you very much. My name is Princess Olikat Feyotola, Institute of Transport and Land Administration, and the former chairman group of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, that is our transport group of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Your Royal Highness, sir, the members of the high table, my honorary Abisi, we really appreciate you. The reason why I'm just trying to have my own contribution towards this gathering, we should commend the organizer of this EHINGBETI in Lagos State, Mrs. Student. We appreciate you. Please give her a round of applause. So, because they actually bring us back to our last memory when we were so very young, coming down to Marina as a key side and what have you. And I also thank my mentor, Professor S.I. Oni. Thank you very much. He's a transport person, and I'm very happy with the eloquent presentation on maritime industry. My professor, sir, we appreciate you for your presentation on maritime. Sir, sorry ma, you said they should bring out maritime from transport. Transport, with no transport, no economy, is the power in any country. When you don't, not in Nigeria, we don't really appreciate what transport is all about. But Professor Oni, when they started transport in Uniland, people were wondering, what sort of course is this? But today is the key one. The limelight of this country now is the transport. So there is no way they can derive or remove maritime from transportation. Because we have almost 6 models of transportation. We have sea waterways, road transport, rail, and also gas and what have you, and aviation. So there is no way, still under transport, because no transport, no economy. Now, we have wasted so many things. What we are facing today in this country is human error. We're talking of blue ocean, blue whatever. What is the meaning of the blue? We are talking of the Atlantic Ocean. And they now derive that blue from Atlantic Ocean. Because we're talking the same Atlantic from here to every part of the world, which landed in our own country. Now, I think it's high time for we to wake up and uphold this country very well. We have done so many things. You mentioned UTC in those days, SCOA. I'm the first female distributor in the auto industry in this country, in West Africa. We have almost 7 auto assembly in Nigeria. None of them is no more in this country. What causes all this is we as a person. So we need to sit up and do things the way it's supposed to be done. In no time, this country will go a very long way. So we're just starting, just like coming up as a baby again to revive our own country. May the Lord continue to be with us and let us know. Thank you very much.
What we've been saying here today, the blue economy is directly affects the people, mainly the riverine dwellers of our waterfront, and they're usually the poorest of the poor. Now, once you set up a ministry, it's going to be headed by somebody who has no knowledge or no interest in that area, and we're going to go on a lost drive again. So that's why I clapped. And I also want to let you know that we realize that the blue economy, the main participants of the blue economy should be the riverine dwellers. And we actually try to set up a program encompassing the local government areas, because they are usually the ones in charge of those riverine dwellers. And for 4 years, I believe I sent a copy of the paper to Kabesi when he became the new. It's been going from one ministry to another, trying to champion this cause, and still no direction. So that's why I say we will handle it ourselves, program by program, according to what you said, and not from a ministry point of view. I thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. May I at this point request that we give the moderator and the team of panelists a round of applause for a job well done. We are mindful of the fact that today is Friday, our Muslim brothers have to go to the mosque. Now, the communique will be sent to our email addresses. There's one thing, my parents, if I don't do it, they will not allow me to go They said, Kabisi, they want to call